Hello everyone, I'm going to be talking about deafness, and that's how it's like for me. It can be annoying at times, but quite useful as well. Like to say, when you have siblings and they are annoying you, you can just take your cockers off and just hear nothing. But sometimes, if it gets annoying, sometimes your battery will just randomly die and you don't have any batteries, and that can be quite annoying. So, I find deafness quite useful and annoying at times.
When you don't have the cochlear things, what does the nothing feel like?
It's like absolutely no sounds.
You mentioned before that you have a lot of deaf friends. What do you like about having other deaf friends?
Oh, it's really amazing because you get to know that you're not the only one that's deaf. I actually have this friend who's actually deaf, and she and I know Auslan, which is something that we use to communicate with each other. Sometimes those magnetic headphones, they sometimes can connect to my cochlea, and sometimes I can listen to music like that. But I prefer headphones more because it's bigger and you can cover up the sounds.
Could you teach us a word?
What?
Could you teach us one word of sign language of Auslan?
I can teach you happy.
Yeah.
Happy.
Amazing. Any other questions? Christian.
What's your favourite thing about deaf culture or the deaf community?
The best thing about the deaf community or the culture is where people are very inclusive and they learn our sign to help us.
Hello, this is Flynn and this is my I Can Talk on Fishing. So, on how to cast a line and reel it in. So you start off by putting bait on your fishing rod. You can put any on, but I like to put pippies on. Try to hide the hook so the fish doesn't see it. Next, you hold the wire to the rod using your left hand, as you can see in this picture of me doing that. Then you flick the little switch swinging forward there to release the line so it can just plonk into the water and sink by itself. Then you move yourself around like this and look over, then you go do that, then you throw, and then right there you let go of your hand and it will soar into the air into the water. Then you just let it drop and let the wire spin out, the line spin out. And then as it's dropping, you wait till the wire stops coming out so you know it's reached the bottom, and you go and flip the switch back to lock it so you can then reel. So then you reel it so the tension of the wire into the water is tight so you can see if the fish is biting and it will go wobbling. And you can't. And you don't always catch fish, it's a lucky shot if you do. But if you do catch a fish, then this is what you do. So the fish will start biting, they're very strong, so be careful. I'll try all the tricks to try and get out. But you have to give it a tug if it's biting to try and catch it in the fish's mouth, and then reel it in slowly. And then you've got your fish for dinner. Extra bonus tip. If you go in the morning, the fish supposedly will be out to eat. So yeah.
In what ways can cerebral palsy be annoying?
Like when I was younger, when I was in prep, I would fall over nearly every single day on the way to school.
What is cerebral palsy for people who don't know?
It's a disability that affects most of the body.
How does it affect the body?
It weakens the muscles. It takes some time to learn things. It can take some time for people to write things neatly. It can take a few years for it to do that. It takes longer for people with cerebral palsy to write things neatly than people without.
Yeah. Is there something that you've noticed that was hard growing up that is easier now, that you've found different ways to navigate?
When I was younger, I found walking really hard, that I had to use you see people with the walkers, I had my own one when I was little to help me stand up properly. Because I couldn't really use my legs properly.
Cool.
And eventually I outgrew it and my legs are getting stronger. I know that people are aware that disabilities affect people, and sometimes people with a disability can go to a certain place which will help them with finding a job that's suitable for them.
So would you say that other people's awareness of cerebral palsy is the big thing that you hope would change?
Yeah.
Hello! My name is Ross, and today my I Can Talk. Is that I Can Talk?
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be about misophonia. I don't have anything written on the wall. What is misophonia? Basically, it's. Forgive me for my poor, words that I'm using. It's like a hearing disorder, kind of, where your brain processes certain sounds as pain, and it makes you feel incredible distress and discomfort. For me, those sounds are coughing, sniffing, clearing your throat, hiccups, just general face noises, essentially. The most friendly misophonia place I've been in is my home, because everyone knows about the things happening in my head. And so I have a lot of places where I can run off and hide whenever it's getting too much for me. Acknowledge that I am different and try to make their sounds just a bit quieter if that's possible. If you're struggling to relate to me having distress over noise, have you ever heard someone scratching a chalkboard? Because that's basically, the emotional reaction from that is the same that I get from these other noises. Yeah.
What helps if you're in a bad situation with misophonia?
Well, the best way to handle that is to find an escape route and go to a quiet place where I can calm down and maybe listen to some music to get the noises out of my head.
Hello, my name is Trinity and I'm going to be talking about ADHD, or some of you might know it as ADD. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, and ADD just doesn't have hyperactivity in it. What it really is essentially a, neurological disorder where it affects your brain in some way. I do know that it affects your dopamine levels, which is your levels of happiness. It also affects things like hyperactivity, so things like fidgeting, restless leg, you can't really stay still very long, and there's also impulsivity, which is the inability to really stop yourself. So, for example, you hear someone talking and you want to pitch in to talk, and you don't really think about it and you just jump in right away. That's something that happens a lot. If you mix both of those, then it's a combination of hyperactivity and impulsivity. Most people with ADHD do tend to struggle, especially with work, such as schoolwork, just assignments, meetings, stuff like that, because we, as people with ADHD, tend to procrastinate a lot more than people who don't.
Do you know many other people with ADHD or ADD?
Yes, I do. I do know some people who have ADHD and struggle somewhat similar to me as well.
Are they a lot like you or very different from you?
They're can be a bit different, but they're kind of on the same level as me, yeah. Yes.
What's one thing you really wish everyone knew about ADHD and ADD?
It's not as simple as saying, you should concentrate more, or you should just stop doing whatever. It's not that easy. It's a struggle for us to actually even be able to get ourselves together to do work.